What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is Season 6, Episode 21, and the episode is titled, Where There's Smoke, There's Marceau. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I did not take any notes when I watched this episode. I'm just going to go off of, what I can remember. First scene we actually got was Keke and Mel having a conversation. I cannot lie, I was completely thrown off by all of the sound effects that were used instead of being able to say people's names. So when I tell y'all I was so confused at first, I had to literally rewatch it for me to understand. Basically, Keke is telling Mel that when it comes to Tisha, they have basically fallen out because Keke got some information, I'm going to say from her hairstylist. Maybe that's who it was from. One of her stylists or somebody. That Marceau supposedly had this threesome with somebody. With two other women. And not only did that happen, we also learned that one of the ladies, she had a boyfriend. This boyfriend, he found out that Marceau was messing around with his girl. He broke up with the girl. And then I'm assuming that he reached out to Keke, and told her this information. He tried to reach out to Tisha. Tisha didn't give him no type of energy. Keke tried to tell Tisha what was going on. However, Tisha never showed up. But once old boy had reached out to her, she calls Keke and is like, why did you tell this guy about me and Marceau? All of this stuff. Honestly, within this whole entire conversation, the only thing that I can say is, y'all, I think it's time to just let Tisha do Tisha. If Tisha wants to accept anything that Marceau is willing to put her through, we can't save her. Can't nobody save her. Because when I was listening to Keke talk about the whole situation, to me, it wasn't giving, oh, I made up some rumors and a lie just for the show. Her whole thing was, hey, this is the information. You can do what you want with it. You know what I'm saying? And just like Mel said, hey, at the end of the day, if Tisha don't want to hear about it, Tisha don't have to hear about it. However, it is crazy that Tisha wanted Keke to go fire whoever it was that was working for her because she's the one who told Keke about it. How dare you be mad at somebody else and you're mad at Keke? You're mad at all the wrong people. Take this up with your husband. Why are there more rumors circulating about you? But at the end of the day, we all know that she never brings anything to Marceau. Okay? Now, when it comes to Keke having this conversation with Mel, was I mad about that? No. Because I feel like Mel was genuinely asking, hey, what's going on with your relationship with Tisha? Is it in a better place? Because most people would assume hey, you talked to your cousin and y'all got everything squared away, y'all good. Nobody is expecting that all this drama is happening and they have fallen out even worse than what they were before. So now Keke has to tell Mel about the other little bit of drama that's going on, and that's the fact that the Mila and Macy hair care line has dropped, right? That's great. However, on the website, for the return policy, it is copy and paste of Canvas Beauty, which is Stormy's company. Now, here's my thing, Tisha. You should have proofread that. You got a master's degree. You got all the degrees. You absolutely should have proofread every page on your website to make sure that everything looked good, everything was done correctly before you launched that website. I don't know how you let that go up because that's crazy. It really is. And I'm not exactly sure if I can say that the web designer is the person who I'm blaming, because most of the time when you are building a website, especially if it's your company, you may have specific verbiage that you want to put on there. You know what I'm saying? Your shipping policy or return policy, it might not supposed to be the same as Canvas Beauty. However, what I think that you probably did was copy Canvas Beauty because at the end of the day, it's also a hair care brand. I would not put that past you, that you wouldn't do that. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Y'all, let's move on to the next scene. All right, so we see Maurice. He is going to pick up Kimmy's car, right? Or at least throw some more bigger tires on her car, whatever he trying to do to this Jeep that he just bought her, right? Great that he bought her this car. However, when he meets up with his brother, Marceau, he's telling Marceau how, I realize that with everything going on, we don't really have that much time. I said, why are you saying that as if she's dying? Why are you talking this way? Then he goes on to be like, she kept saying that she wants a Jeep, but I tried to push her to get a luxury car. Like, what about a Maybach? She said no. Oh, or what about a Lamborghini? I said, now, hold on. Hold on. What y'all not about to do is play in my face and pretend like Maurice has Maybach and Lamborghini money. Where? How? Like, I know y'all get these checks from these shows, and you have your little, what is his business? His little tax business or whatever. Or he ain't taxes. He don't do taxes. What did he do? No, credit repair. That's it. I know you're supposed to be repairing people's credit and all of that. A Lamborghini? Like, I'm not trying to count anybody's coins, but be for real right now. Like, I'm sorry. I just cannot believe that you gonna play in our face to make it seem like y'all all just have all this money. First of all, one thing that I have noticed is that the Scott brothers, they are forever putting on stunts, especially when it comes to all these businesses that they have and how much money they have and all these cars. Because the last time that I checked, yes, they have a check from this show, right? That's cool. However, when it comes to Maurice and Kimmy's household, you had Kimmy quit her job as a nurse, so that income's not coming in. Now she supposedly, do title loans, or they were doing something that had to do with houses. I can't even remember what it was, but either way, we ain't seen them do it not a one or two times. As far as Maurice, he's supposed to be a lawyer or attorney. We ain't seen him work not a one case. We know that he has his, I keep wanting to say tax, his credit repair business. Okay, what else is going on? Y'all buying cars. You're building a new office. Again, where's all this money coming from? Please make that make sense. And don't even get me started on Tisha and Marceau. Because when I tell you they have the audacity to judge Mel for having a t-shirt business when they are the ones who are definitely throwing things up against the wall and hoping that it sticks. Because this hair care line that they just created, hoping that it sticks. They haven't even talked about chocolate in a bottle in a while. I don't know what happened to that business. But nonetheless, we have literally seen them have a whole argument about this man getting his car wrapped. However, Tisha wants a new truck or a new SUV. They are supposed to be breaking ground to build their dream home. However, the house that they were once living in, they have moved out of that to renovate that completely. And while they still paying rent on a house that's not even big enough, or it's not spacious enough, I should say, then on top of that, you also have them, as we saw later in the episode, they were building something else out. All I heard mention of, a barber shop and something else. I'm just like, y'all are spending y'all money everywhere. Oh, keep in mind, at some point, I think they were supposed to be building a new office because Tisha ain't got nowhere to go. It makes no sense the way these people are spending money. I'm not even gonna lie. The way they are spending money on this show blows my mind. I'm like, oh, this gotta be smoke and mirrors. Like, y'all must be standing in random people's buildings that are getting construction on them. Because ain't no way you're going to tell me that y'all are just spending money like this. This show can end in a heartbeat. And again, I'm not trying to count people's pockets, but it blows my mind watching the way the Scotts move. Because you don't see nobody else doing what they doing. At all. The way that they're spending money left and right, it makes no sense. But I'm about to get off of that. This whole scene, I could have done without. Especially the fact that Maurice decided to tell his brother how things aren't working out with Kimmy because she won't sleep with him. And then Marceau gives some dumb analogy about how Maurice's back, it's hurting, but you can't say that it's mental. And then he finally got it. Good night, Maurice. We're sick and tired of you. You and Kimmy, if y'all don't come up with a better storyline, y'all need to go. Like, I get it. It's sad that Kimmy had to go through cancer. However, if y'all don't have nothing else to talk about, y'all can go. Because as much as I used to be annoyed with Tiffany, give me a scene with her and the baby. I would rather see that than to hear Maurice or Kimmy talk about their non-existent sex life again. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and talk about Stormy and her husband, Courtney. They are laying in the bed, and we learned that Stormy is actually sick. Unfortunately, she got strep throat, and then it was starting to develop into an even worse sickness. So luckily, she was able to go to the doctor, get her antibiotics, and she's, moving forward on the up and up to feeling better. Now, they have a conversation about how they actually like Keke, okay? When Stormy got sick, Keke was one of the first people to reach out to her, and they really do like her. However, why did Stormy say that Keke was like Darkwing Duck with that Crime Stoppers video? I hollered because I said Darkwing Duck, ma'am. I cannot. But moving past that, they talk about the fact that Tisha has launched this new business endeavor and how it copied Stormy's business, Canvas Beauty. And one thing that I will say is that Stormy actually seems like she is a sweet girl. I feel like being on this TV show brings out certain elements of her, but I feel like in real life, she's really sweet, because the fact that she was like, you know what, I'm not even about to be mad at Tisha for, copying the verbiage that's on my website, but she could have just asked me. I could have helped her with that. And she was even embarrassed for Tisha in that moment, because another issue with that is the fact that they are coming off of the heels of it being Stormy and Courtney versus Marceau. I'm not even going to bring Tisha into this. It's going to be versus Marceau. And the crazy thing about it is that Marceau has so much to say at that table. Like, oh yeah, we don't need to invite them anymore. We don't need them. We're not friends with them. Talking all this mess about Stormy and her husband. But here's the thing. They're not copying off of none of your websites. They're not. All of their stuff is already good to go. Now, I know that we have given Stormy a side eye when it came to her having to label her products and the workload that she had on her cousin. But when it comes to her business, it seems to be way more put together than what the Scotts got going on. But they're the first ones to always try to throw stones at somebody. So lastly, Stormy tells her husband about the little barbecue cookout that Maurice and Kimmy will be having to celebrate her finishing radiation. Courtney said, yeah, I'm not going. You can go, but I'm not going. I don't want to be around these people. First of all, you can already tell these type of people are not Courtney's type of vibe. They not his friends, and he ain't trying to force nothing. I can't blame that man. Now, speaking of not trying to force nothing, we actually move on over to Marceau and Tisha. And Marceau, when he talks about Stormy and her husband, he's not trying to force a relationship because according to him, these people are not his friends. He don't like them, and that's where they stand. Okay, fine. That actually works for me. Nonetheless, we also see in that scene, like I mentioned earlier, they were going over the floor plans for this new building that they're supposed to be building. They talk about the whole situation with the copying of Canvas Beauty. Now, according to Tisha, they basically tried to make it seem like, oh, it was a template that was used and the person just didn't change the information. I don't care what was used. It could have absolutely been a template. The problem is that you did not proofread. And you're sitting up here acting as if you played no part in why that is on your business's page. You sound crazy. Because the least that you had to do before you launched your website was read each page and make sure that everything was how it was supposed to be. So then we have these two basically talk about how it's some people out here that's hating on them because someone supposedly called the city of Huntsville and let the city know about their Bet on Black night, which was supposed to be a casino night, right? For charity, which makes absolutely no sense now that you think about it. Because at the end of the day, you want people to use their actual money to play some casino games. And my question is this, if they win or whatever, if they win the money, is that money automatically going to your charity? Is there only a percentage going to your charity? What was y'all idea to begin with? Because it don't even make sense. Now, what y'all could have just done was an auction and we could have been done with this. But no, y'all want to sit up here and be like, how dare somebody report that we are trying to gamble? This is for a good cause. I don't care how good the cause is. If it's illegal gambling, it's illegal gambling. You are not an actual casino. You're not following proper rules, regulations, or protocols. Like, in this moment, I honestly do not feel bad for the Scotts at all, because I don't even understand how they thought that they could gamble for charity. It don't make sense to me. Maybe somebody can explain it to me in the comments. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this little cookout, right? First person to show up is Stormy. Courtney actually dropped her off, y'all. Dropped her off and said, bye, baby, I am not getting out of this car. You can go ahead and let me know when you're ready to come home. So when she gets there, of course, they're like, where's your husband? And she tells them, like, oh, well, he's not coming because he don't really rock with Marceau. And they're like, oh, he's going to let Marceau keep him from coming to the party? No, that's not the issue. The problem is that he don't want to have to get into a fight with Marceau. So the next person to show up is Mel. And baby, I will say, Mel has been looking good every time she's on the screen. She be having her legs out and she look good, okay? Now she comes with like these two big boxes. I don't know if it's desserts or what she done brought, but I feel like she the only one who brought something. So we even see that the Fletchers came. You know, they had to make sure they got invited. I want to say Tisha and Marceau came, and then we saw Martell get there. Now, when Martell gets there, he goes around, says hello to everybody or whatever. And when he goes to say hello to Mel, I don't think she even spoke to him, and that's fine. Because who knows what these two are actually going through behind closed doors. Because one thing that I've noticed is that they try to keep whatever their issue is off screen for the most part. You know, because they probably don't want their kids to be exposed to it. So she just didn't talk to him. Again, that's absolutely all right with me. Now here comes the mess, because we see Keke and her husband arrive, right? Now one thing that stood out to me before I even get to Keke is that Jalen was there, right? This is the first time I feel like we have seen Jalen this entire season, part 1 and part 2. And again, I'm still upset at the fact that we never got a scene of Jalen and his mama. I'm going to hold their feet to the fire for that, because I definitely would have wanted to see Jalen and Kimmy have a conversation about how she's doing right about now versus having to hear her talk about what her and Maurice got going on. But nonetheless, like I said, Keke, she comes in, she speaks to everybody. However, when she gets to Tisha, she's literally standing right in front of Tisha. And she's leaning down so that way she can give Tisha a hug. Tisha gets up, dipped her, and went on to go do whatever she was going to go do. And I'm just like, okay, wow, that was really rude. But then I'm thinking, okay, maybe when she comes back, she's going to be like, oh, you know what, my bad. Hey, girl. Never happened. I'm just like, okay, you are setting the tone for how the rest of this day is going to go. Like, it's funny because the same energy that Stormy just gave your husband and y'all got so offended by it, you're doing that same thing. So you can't expect a good outcome out of this. And what makes matters worse for me is the fact that, Tisha, you could have easily just been like, hey girl, that's all you had to say. But no, you wanted to dip out and do whatever you wanted to do. And look at how that backfired. And what's even crazier to me is the fact that she said hello to Keke's husband. She's like, oh, hey, Amin, gave this man a hug and all, and then you're not going to speak to his wife? That's weird. So now Keke's over it. Keke's feeling away. Because not only did you play in my face, you did it in front of these people who are supposed to be our friends, and we on national TV. So she decides to go ahead and air out why Tisha is mad at her. She's telling Stormy, who is so confused in this entire thing, she don't know if she needs to play the cards or if she needs to listen to Keke. Baby girl is confused. And Keke is going on telling her the story about what happened with Tisha and how there was rumors that Marceau was cheating, all this stuff. Now, keep in mind, Tisha has come back to the table at this point. And what's throwing me off is the fact that they are literally sitting there ignoring everything that Keke is saying. Like, she's literally saying Marceau's name. He's sitting right across from her, and he's just ignoring her. I'm sorry, but that is weirdo behavior. Marceau, you hear your name being called. If anybody in the real world, if you are sitting across from somebody and they mention your name, you just gonna be like, hey, what y'all talking about? What about me? Why is my name being brought up? But again, Tisha and Marceau decided to have a united front of ignoring Keke, which was extremely weird. And then on top of that, they tried to talk over Keke because all you hear is Tisha yelling, Reese, more Reese, we need more cards, Reese, I need water, Reese, this, that, another. I'm like, well, girl, you can get up and go get whatever you need to go get, because you surely didn't get up when Keke tried to say hello to you, so your feet work. You can get up again and do whatever you gotta do. Like, I don't know, this whole thing was so weird. Like, at one point, all I know is that they were, like, trying to play the game or whatever. Like, do you have a 2 of hearts or something? And Keke snatches the cards out of Stormy's hand because she felt like they were trying to talk over her. And she's like, 2 of what? 2 of what? 2 of what? And she's throwing these cards out. I'm just like, oh my God. Keke, I'm going to need you to bring it down just a few levels. But nonetheless, she went in on the fact that, she had all this information for Tisha. Tisha didn't come to her house. The whole 9. Now, I guess she must have really got fed up with Tisha, because next thing you know, she threw a cup of, I don't know what that was on Tisha, but it drenched her. Like, it drowned her. Like, I have never seen a cup so small be able to drown somebody like that. Tisha was up there fighting for her life with the amount of water or juice or drink, whatever that was, in that cup. She was fighting for her life, y'all. I was so confused. I'm like, why did it look like she had the smallest cup to throw on her? We have seen people throw drinks plenty of times, but that right there, whew, that might be top tier cup throwing, because I ain't never seen, like I said, a cup that small look like it done drowned somebody. Now, do I think that Tisha actually deserved the cup of whatever being thrown on her? No, it did not need to escalate that, to that point. However, Tisha, you welcome that energy just because you couldn't say one word, which was hello, hi, hey. Like, you could have said any of those 3 one words and you would have been fine. Keke would have been cool. So now that Tisha looks like she just got off a Splash Mountain, all hell has broken loose. Because you have her trying to go into the house or whatever. Kimmy is coming out like, what is going on? They're just like, Keke just threw this drink on her. And it looks like Keke ready to fight. At one point, Marceau says that they need to call the police. I said, now, hold on. Hold on. In what aspect are you trying to call the police? Because her throwing a drink, that's not really something that somebody's going to get arrested for. However, are you trying to say call the police because there's a reward for the Crime Stoppers thing? Let me find out you trying to get the reward for the Crime Stoppers, Marceau. But also, it's the fact that he was yelling out, oh, you need to drug test her and all of this stuff. And her husband, baby, her husband was about it. He was about ready to put hands on Marceau. And I'm just like, Marceau, how is it that now every other episode, you 2 seconds away from getting your ass beat by somebody? Because let me tell you something. The way Marceau was shuffling them feet to hide behind anybody who he could, my mind was blown. Because if this man is coming, at you and you supposed to be ready to fight, why are you trying to go the opposite way? Because it was like maybe two people in between them at one point. By the time we got to the end of the episode, it was a solid 3-4 people in between them. I said, you were scared. You were shuffling them feet far behind. So that way anybody else can jump in front of you because you did not want to really get into it with that man. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Y'all are team Keke or are you team Tisha in this matter? Do y'all think that the rumors are true about Marceau messing around on Tisha? Yeah, let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.